my little chums, back again here. Right, this is the CBR Blackbird tank. I've de-aired it. I took the decals off, but the decals were underneath the clear coat. Really clever, really clever. So I've actually gone back to bare metal where the two Honda wings were, if you like, both here. So I've de-aired it, high fill primer just on these two sections. I had a little bit of a hole here in the paint, so I've high fill primered that. I've let it go for 2 days. Don't ask me why, I've just been busy. Bit of guide coat. As you can see, not a huge amount of guide coat, just a bit to show you exactly where you're going. I've got a bucket of hot water. One board, soft board. Don't use a hard board. The only reason why you'd use a hard board is if you was doing filler. If you was filled a panel, you use hard board or a hard block to rub down the filler. If you're doing paint, 2K, 1K, base coat, clear coat, urethane, whatever, soft board. Don't use anything else. And for Christ's sake, don't use your fingers, because you'll be going like that and you'll get troughs in the paint. Just like as if you'd put like a bed of smooth sand, run your fingers through it, you can see where your fingers have been. Always use a board. So like I say, it's 2K high build primer. It's got just a little bit of guide coat on it. I've had my sheets soaking in water for at least half an hour. You need to soak your sheets so they're nice and pliable. You don't want a hard sheet. You want soft. Let them soak in. So I have got in the buckets 400, 320. Now you can go as low as 320 on here because paint will go over 320 scratches. I'm going to do a bit of 320 and then I'm going to go over the whole lot with 400. It's just smoother. I want a nice paint. Once again, it's 90% water, 10% fairy liquid, just to help the paper not clog. So there we are. There we bloody have it. So I'm going to get a little bit of 320. That's been soaking. My block's been soaking. And I'm just going to go over it gently with 320. Just to get the grey off. Oh, sorry, the black off. That's all I'm going to do. Don't be scared to use plenty of water, because all the water's doing is stopping the sandpaper from clogging up. So it increases the life of your sandpaper. That's all it is. Keep feeling it. You can feel when you're through. Use your eyes, use your hands. Like I say, this is 320, so I'm only going over it lightly. It's already been 400 all the way over it before it got high build prime. On places around here, especially around your tank, don't go over this in 320. Use your thumb, go round it, and then take time out and do in there separately. Notice how I'm using my thumb as a guide to go round it. And I'll show you the soft block. Get that out of the way. A soft block will conform to all the curves in the tank. It just goes round it. It stops you putting finger marks in it. That's all a soft block is. Don't use a hard block. Just a soft block. Don't use your fingers. So I'm just taking my time, knocking down all the black guide coat that I have had put on here. You can hear the difference. That's done. That isn't. Bit of water. And that's all I'm basically doing, is I'm just rubbing the tank down, taking the guide coat off to leave a smooth primer. Once the primer's there, I'll give it a tickle with 400 and it should be ready for paint. Oh, by the way, gloves. At this sort of stage, you don't want contamination from your fingers. Always use gloves. Before this stage, just putting on the primer, yeah, you can do it because you're rubbing the primer out. But from here on in, I wouldn't touch the panel with your bare hands because you will get fisheye or silicone, which is basically what it is. So if you notice, I'm using long strokes where the panel's straight and short strokes where it's quite curved. I'm just knocking down the black. All I want to see is grey. Once again, I'm using my finger to go around here, so I don't want to touch this bit. That bit gets done separate. Do that bit with a little bit 400. Give it a quick wash off. So here's the black original coat. This is the 2-gauge high build on grey, and the black you can see is the guide coat. You keep rubbing so all the black's gone. Once the black is gone, you'll have super smooth paint ready for base coat. This is where the sticker was and the top coat went over the top of it, so it left a massive indentation. That's why I put the high build primer on, just for this. So I'll keep rubbing. Rinse it off a bit. We'll keep going until all this outline, and there's no black on here, it's just pure grey. Once again, follow the way the tank goes. You should have cut a bit bigger. This is in 320, so don't go bloody crazy with it. Dirty, dirty. Nice and clean. We're getting close, so I'm moving. Now if the high build primer hasn't filled this, I'll have to do it again. But 90% of your paintwork is this. If you take time and do this properly, it'll turn out beautiful. Right, now I've got the tank 99% ready for another coat of primer. I just want to show you something. Between every layer, every rub down, I always chase. I have a little game of chase with the silicone. Because even though you've rubbed it down, there's still all sorts of shit on this paint. I'll show you. This is how I play chase. You can't see that, can you? Oh yes you can. Right, damp cloth, and you rub it, and where the water doesn't lie, I mean if I show you here, there look, I mean that bit's just me, but where the water doesn't lie, where it's quite happy to be shiny, that's fine. Look at this bit, if I can get it in camera correctly, watch. Water doesn't like that. No matter how hard I rub, rubby do dub dub dub, water just doesn't like it. That is clear coat, and that's base coat. But that's what I do. I just play chase. I go around the whole tank with a damp rag, and I look at how the water dries. And if there's a certain spot that is drying a hell of a lot quicker than the rest of it, that means it's got silicone on it. But just a quick game of chase. So yeah. That's the, apart from this base that's come through on base, which need primer. Got two patches of metal again, which is exactly what I wanted. You can't use primer for bodywork. High build primer, a lot of people think, yeah, high build primer, use it to fill in all sorts of shit. Not ideal. There is other stuff for it, icing, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going one layer at a time, putting a coat on, rubbing it off, putting a coat on, rubbing it off. Exactly how primer is supposed to be.